Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you how to dominate as Peni Parker in Marvel Rivals in this guide with some tips and tricks to get the most out of her. She performs extremely well defensively because she's able to set up these spider nests, which will give you increased movement speed as well as temporary health, which is very nice. So once you step off it after 3 seconds, your health will start to go back down. But with this, you can also heal yourself. So as far as scores go, you can actually get a bit of healing off. Roughly on a really good game, you can get about 5,000 in healing with these webs, which is very useful. But what's cool is you can also set them up with your right click here, so you can never run out of webs, and these will also make you move faster. In addition, you can also line these up so that you can continually hit the enemies with this. So if you go with that, you can see there we got our mine set up. So if we were to take out this and this guy here, our mines will now find their way over to our final target. So you can actually set up very interestingly because you have multiple different ways of setting up. So our right click, which will bind targets like that, you can also use to create the little bridges here. But also your F ability, which lets you connect to the ground here. And with this, you can kind of play some mind games with the enemies, because if you run away, you're going to see this new little thing in the middle there, which shows the amount of force that you have that'll sling you back with. So you can do this, and basically once you get past 10, you're going to see on the screen, it'll pull you back to your web. So you can use this to avoid fire by just running there and then letting go of whatever your control stick or keyboard to return back in fire. So this is really useful because you can use this just to regain yourself the ability to get your extra shields back. But you can also use it as a tether. So there's a few different areas in the game where you can actually dangle from the ceiling with it as well. It's not probably the most effective because then you're just stuck in a singular plane of motion, but it can be pretty good. You can see there our spider nest is very effective. You can pick it up again with shift and place it back down. But the thing is, if it ends up getting hurt, like if the enemy starts shooting at it and you go to pick it back up, you have a timer based on how long or how much health it lost. So that max is about 15 seconds there, and as it decreases in, or if you have less damage, it's going to be obviously less time until you can redeploy it. Another cool thing is I'm starting to see Groot, if he's able to put his wall down on the spider nest, it'll remove the spider nest altogether. But a nice little bonus is it actually doesn't count as damage done to your nest, so you can usually replace your nest right away. So yeah, it's a good strategy in certain sense, but it's not really that crazy effective. But you're gonna see here, we got enough here to target this one here. But yeah, if you're smart with it, you can literally set it up so that it hits multiple enemies here. So this is great for playing defensively because you can crowd or hide these around here. And also, if you place your mines down, they can't actually be destroyed if they're hiding under your webs. So that's a good way to protect them if you find that people are shooting at them. So at the start of a game, whenever you see people coming out of the door, what you can do is actually drop all your mines at the door and then place one of these on top of it so they can't be shot at and destroyed. This becomes pretty crazy because you can literally just set up like that and then run back away. There's a few maps where this works really well, and people will end up usually just running out, and you can get a couple easy knockouts, and I showed earlier in the video getting a few of those off. So yeah, it's extremely effective. But another way that Peni is great is that she's got a lot of mobility, so you can use obviously this to walk up. You can use that to like run away, but you can also run up walls. That's another huge thing about Peni, is she's got that ability to climb straight up a wall. It's not the same as Spider-Man and Venom, but if you hear like a maximum pulse, you can just run away and shoot this off to get some extra movement away from it. But yeah, it works really well for just being able to create yourself those extra shields. As you can see, the health is starting to increase all the way up to 800. But in addition to that, you got like a lot of mobility with being able to sling around behind people and then drop a bunch of mines. I find that typically some of the best ways to get knockouts is actually just chucking your mines behind towards their healers. As you can see, like, they're pretty good at hitting in an area of effect. They do about 100 damage each, so they did actually get nerfed from 100 to 65. So a little bit less damage with the fall off, but yeah, they're extremely effective for just taking out any of the healers. So if you're getting in a gunfight with the tanks, be throwing these mines behind them to take out their healers, and they're going to have no real way to combat that. So I'll show you guys some combat and just some overall gameplay to get an idea of how you want to play Peni. In these games I did pretty well. So here's a little trick. You can actually place a bunch of mines right at the start whenever you're on defense, and then as soon as they come out, most times you're going to get a knockout if they're not really paying attention. Now, if you're playing competitive, that doesn't happen as often. Also, we're a pretty decent counter to Iron Man, although our mines can't do anything. We can just shoot at him and kind of keep him away. Typically, I find if Iron Man gets shot at, he'll just run away. Unfortunately, my spider nest went down there, but setting it up in a defensive place is important, and you're going to want to be moving it back as well. So don't be afraid to press shift to remove it if you find that people end up shooting at it, because you can take it away and then place it somewhere better and have less of a cooldown if you do it that way versus letting it get destroyed fully. So also, it's good to play pretty quick on your feet. So you can see there, I'm just running around hopping a bunch, and I was able to get an easy triple knockout there just from setting mines down and playing aggressively while moving around. Now, also, using your ultimate to set up and create space is going to be one of the best uses for it. It's a little bit tricky, but placing mines around the payload or the objective is going to probably be your best bet. So you can see there, we were able to push them back pretty quickly. This game went really well as we were able to beat them real quick. I even got a knockout there when I was 8 by Jeff because I placed a bunch of mines in good places. So that's really what it's all about. And there's a 20-player knockout streak, just going absolutely crazy on them with our setup. And we were able to stop them right here. So this game wasn't that long, but I still was able to get 26 knockouts and 16 final hits. So that was pretty good. But again, it's all about staying on the ground that you have set up with your web so you get the extra movement speed. And then once you have that, you're also going to get healing too. I was the only tank in this game. Penny typically plays better as an off tank because she can be extremely offensive. As you see there, I had the most damage, a triple, the most damage block. It was just a really good game. And then here's another game. I went 24-0, no deaths. So this shows how to play very defensively, as that's what Penny is all about. So having your mind there to just run around and deflect like a Wolverine or an Iron Fist who is just going to come up and get close range with us, our minds will take care of them, and then we can just focus on staying alive. I was also good there to run to the health pack and then bounce around with that, because whenever you have your web set up, you can actually run back with it. I was pushing pretty hard here with my ultimate, but I just want to create a bunch of space for our team, and jumping around like that, you'll still drop mines. Whenever using your ultimate, you always want to right-click and hold that down, and left-click to attack in front of you. Whenever you're attacking in your ultimate, you'll only hit right directly in front of you, not where you're aiming, so you do have to angle your character towards them. And here I was able to shut down one to max them off doing your ultimate, which is hilarious. So yeah, you can take some people out of their ultimates if you hear them going off with it. I was just able to turn around and just shoot at her with that and stopped her completely and got rid of her ultimate. So that's really ideal. So again, you're playing defensively. I set my spider nest behind the wall there because I was pretty defensive in terms of keeping myself alive as well as keeping the spider nest alive, because it's going to provide that healing over time for your character. Again, using the ultimate here just to set mines in place so that I'll get easy knockouts is kind of ideal. And I was able to get 4 knockouts right quick here in no time at all. Just luckily we took out their healers and that was it for them. So yeah, it's really about creating space and holding that space as Penny. And if you set up your spider mine in the right place, you'll get a crazy game like this. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below.